back, everybody. My first guest tonight is a rock and roll legend. His new CD, The Best of Pete Townshend, cool walking, smooth talking, straight smoking, fire stoking, is available now. You should get that. Please welcome one of my heroes, Pete Townshend. Thanks very much for coming. I got to talk to you for seconds just before the show. There's Max over there. He's the drummer. Yeah.
Okay, so you can't have everything.
Fight him, Max, right now. All right. You know, I'm huge fan of your work for a long time, and one of the things that I was actually curious about, you've been such a dynamic stage performer for such a long time, and you invented so many things. Yes, I know I'm putting you to sleep, but I have to remind you of these things. The windmill, the jumping around, the smashing, the guitars. And I was curious, was there anything that you saw ever, do you ever see someone else perform and think, man, I wish I had thought of that. I wish I could, you know, someone who put wheels on their guitar and drove it around or something.
Yeah, the guy that really comes into my mind, because when I first saw Jimi Hendrix in '67, he was just developing a kind of an English-style way of playing. But he had another idea, which is before you eat your guitar, bang it on your head, set fire to it, you learn to play it. It never occurred to me. No.
Seemed like, why not just skip that step, I would think.
And, you know, I mean, seriously, Jimmy had a lot of other stuff, too, kind of real magic stuff, which I think was just around in the early years. But he was spectacular. And I think I remember sitting with Eric Clapton. I've told this story many times, but sitting with Eric Clapton in a couple of his early shows, and we found ourselves kind of holding hands, you know, watching Jimi Hendrix going, oh, my God, you know. And me, because I felt he was taking the stagecraft and, and the guitar, you know, antics, and Eric, because this guy was just playing the hell out of the blues, you know, and so for different reasons we were hanging on to each other, and it's pity that Jimmy didn't last forever, but his music did, so it's cool.
Well, I was curious, one of the things that, you know, I was looking at a lot of the footage from Kids Are All Right Today, a movie I've seen a couple of times, but I just was refreshing my memory, and you're swinging this guitar all over the place, and I've read, it's nowhere in the footage there, that you used to actually hit people with the guitar. You used to smash people over the head with the guitar, use it as a weapon.
You know I didn't, did I?
I've asked all law enforcement officers.
I've got a very serious drink problem. Let's talk about my drug addiction.
Okay, all right.
I've got this sheep thing I want to talk about. No, it's interesting because, you know...
No, wait a minute. Let's talk about the sheep thing. I think that's what people want to hear about.
Before you come out on the show, they rig you up with this little box, right, and a microphone, and then the girl sidles off, and somebody comes up to you and says, hi, Pete, remember me? And you say, yeah, I do. You know, how's the sheep thing? You know. Actually, I'm through that. I've recovered. I've done the sheep 12-step program, but I've got a secondary addiction with llamas now. And then you realise that there's a microphone. It's going down a white, it's through the air. Taxi drivers can hear this conversation.
That's right. Yeah. Everyone. So you could be in big trouble if you gave anything away.
We might as well open up and go right into the shooting.
Well, didn't you? I mean, you hit. I've heard stories that you hit other members of the Who with your guitar when you got in arguments.
In arguments, when you're holding a guitar, in arguments, it's a useful thing. You know, I mean, Keith Moon used to throw sticks at you, and if they hit you in the eye, it hurt a lot. You know, and Roger used to swing his microphone, and it used to bounce off your head. You know, I had this guitar, and I can remember one occasion, which is fairly well documented, of having an argument. We just finished Quadrophenia, and we were rehearsing it, and we were having quite a hard rehearsal, and Roger decided to go, and I said, we can't go, we're not finished, and he said, you know, hell, I'm just going, and I got angry with him, and we got into a kind of face-to-face round, and I just bopped him on the head with the guitar, and he punched back. And that's all I remember. Like, I think I woke up. I think I woke up 4 hours later with loss of memory that lasted for about 10 hours, something. It was very, very extraordinary, and he was desperately worried, you know, because he thought he'd killed me. So,
reason enough to worry.
You can hit people with guitars, but I think there's nothing like a fist. You know.
And a guitar helps, actually. I want to ask you about one more thing before we take a break. I've got a bit of a guitar collection, and I heard this once, and I don't know if it's true, but the whammy bar in a guitar, the metal thing that you use to cause a vibrato, that you actually, thank you, that's how I do it, yeah. That's my style. It's called the Lord Fauntleroy style. It's very popular here in the States. Anyway, but you were windmilling, and that there's a rumor that you should put your hand...
What a rumor. It happened.
Well, let's talk about it.
It didn't feel like a rumor. Roger and I used to do this, what we call downstage. You go to the edge of the stage, stand up there, and Roger would kind of go, I'm a man, I spell M, I spell A, I spell N, I spell A. How do you spell this, Pete? I'd be whirling my arm, kind of pretending to be one of them as well. And you've got to, and they go, yeah, yeah. And what had happened is that the whammy bar had flicked from its forward position backwards, and I'd just gone into it. And I picked up the guitar, and it was hanging on my hand.
Oh, my God.
And kind of a moment of shock, so I just popped it out, and blood started to gush. So I left the stage and went and got it fixed. There was actually, quite seriously, there was a microsurgeon there that night who ran up and flushed it with saline solution for a couple of hours. And it was okay, but it could have been terrible.
Yeah, so it's literally, your hand was literally...
It's a dangerous job. I mean, you guys can laugh, but it's dangerous.
Very dangerous to be a rock star, I would think so. We're going to have more with Pete Townshend when we come back. We'll take a quick break. See you in a second.